got here? TV Musings! What's that? Something new, perchance? Vikings. Alright. I have a new theme here with TV Musings. When I started new again over here at Planet Shannon TV, I decided one of the things I wanted to talk about was TV, and then I realized I haven't really talked about, you guessed it, TV. So I thought, why not talk about Vikings? Season 1 finished up a little while ago, started in March, and then went for 9 episodes. Oh, my calendar has stuff on it, so I can't quickly, covertly. I'm trying to. I think it ended in April, and I mostly enjoyed it. So I wanted to share my 10 things I liked about Vikings season 1 and 5 things not so much, because I had a bit of both. Most of the people I know who I talked to TV about actually stopped watching it because it was too violent and too brutal, and because of the sexual violence. So this is going to be I'll try to keep mostly spoiler free, but I might provide some context for some of the things, but I'm not gonna, like, you know, totally spoil the entire season. So I'll try and be in sort of light land. So I'm gonna start with the 10 we're going to start with what I liked about the show. Okay, so number 10, the first scene of the series. I was completely drawn in. I was like, this feels like another time, this feels like another world, this feels like I understand what's going on without having to understand what's going on. It had this level of mythic proportions and, like, living mythology, and I love that. It didn't always, that wasn't I thought I wanted more of that throughout the series. It wasn't always in the series. It was there, but the sort of living mythology, I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. Totally drawn in. And that being able to understand what's going on without having to understand what's going on, it's how I describe the Russian film Night Watch. That's this of similar mind. It's like, you know, I get it. I got it. Number 9 thing I liked about Vikings. A pretty shocking choice that there's vast amounts of time between episode to episode. Like, the next episode doesn't start exactly where the last one began. There's a huge chunk of time. I was so surprised. Like, what I thought was going to be the entire first season sort of came together in the first 2 episodes. I was like, oh, where do we go now? And that is pretty surprising as far as I've seen in TV. Usually it's, you know, it means they scoped a lot further than I expected. So, okay, number 8 thing I liked about Vikings: believable surprises. Believable surprises. That is so key. It's easy to surprise an audience, but it's not easy to surprise them so that they believe it. And that, for me, that's one of the key things I like about any series. Like, you can just be like, ah, there's a bear and now everyone's dead. Yeah, I did that in grade 9 drama. But that doesn't necessarily, and contextually there are times where that will happen. But, you know, like, did anyone know there were bears here? Did we? You know? And that they could kill people? I don't know. I'm not talking about bears killing people. That's not where I meant to go. But it just meant that they create believable surprises. Number 7 thing I like about Vikings: they later explain what we didn't even realize we weren't sure we understood. I might have to give a reference for this one, and that means when I was watching, there were certain things I was like, wow, that seems a bit weird, or can they do that, or how does that play into the society, or, you know, what's the reprimand if this were to happen, those kinds of things. But not so much that it's jarring, but while you're watching, you're kind of going, huh. And then later on, they explain it, and not necessarily directly, which is awesome, because it's nice, because it feels a little less like they're talking to us. And that leads right into my number 6 thing I like about Vikings. They don't pander to the audience. Sure, we have the lead-in of what happened before and those kinds of things, but you're not led to water every time. Actually, you're probably rarely led to water in the show. But they assume that you're going to sort of fill in the blanks yourself, or, you know, work with them, or let it happen. I don't know. For some reason, it felt like it was on a different level than other shows that are very directly telling you exactly what's going on. This wasn't, like, necessarily confusing or I didn't understand, but you just, you know, go with it until it does make sense, if that makes any sense. Now I'm going to switch gears here and add in the middle the things I didn't like so much, because I didn't want to lead with them, and I didn't want to finish with them, so I'm putting them in the middle. Because this is my vlog, and I can do what I want. The number 5 thing that I didn't like about Vikings was I didn't understand the economy of the society. There's a huge emphasis to, let's get all these riches, you know, and then they never buy anything. I know, like, or, you know, we see them connect with other areas, you know, but it's usually to form alliances through people as opposed to through purchasing anything. So I didn't understand the value of being able to have riches if the riches didn't provide you with value. So maybe that's just me not being a history buff. Maybe other people are like, oh, Shannon's blah 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 blah. Maybe I didn't know. I'm kind of like I understood it in terms of their, I don't know what the right term is, their clan or whatever, that, you know, whoever has the most is the most or whatever, but it felt bigger than that. So, but if it was to fund something, they never funded anything, as far as I could tell. So that might be nitpicky, and other people might understand, and they might explain it later, but I didn't get it. 4th thing I didn't super like about Vikings, the use of non-English. When the limited use of non-English. Now, I finally did figure it out, and I'll preface this by the fact that I just love hearing other languages, and everyone, when they were speaking other languages, spoke them so well, and it was just so lovely to hear, and you could get it. And I actually think they did do this well. I just like hearing other languages more. So, and if you watch the show and were confused, I would break it down to, if everyone in the room speaks the same language, what we hear on the television show is English. If not everyone in the room is going to understand each other, the Vikings spoke whatever language they were speaking, and anyone who was speaking anything else spoke English. So, and then they subtitled, you know, the non-English. So, it's, you know, I did figure it out, and that's an interesting choice, and they did work into the story language barriers, but it's like when there was a language barrier, there were subtitles, and a party wasn't speaking English. Everyone spoke it so well, and there was so much gusto in whatever language they were speaking, I was like, just wanted to hear more of it. So, so number 4. Number 3, I have to admit, I didn't really like that last episode of the season. I can't really say more without being spoilery, but I didn't really like it. So, and I'm not sure I believe the choices in terms of the characters, which is actually the first time that ever happened in the series. So I'll have to see more to know for sure. But, and if you want to know exactly what I mean, you can feel free to DM me or PM me or whatever they say on YouTube, and I will tell you. I just don't want to say it or have it in the comments in case people haven't seen the series. Number 3 thing I didn't like about Vikings is that I realized Vikings are hard to like. It's brutal, like, they're really brutal, and that is part of it, and that's the history. So I didn't want to have that realization, and I did, and you can't go back when you realize something. So that kind of sucked, and that led to most of the people I know not wanting to watch it. And number 1 thing I didn't like about the series was the sexual violence. It's just, for me, that's a no-brainer. I never like seeing that. I'm not saying it wouldn't have happened or any of those things, and it was more prevalent in the first half of the series, but I never like seeing that in any kind of entertainment. So that it's hard. I didn't think they did try to balance it with, you know, all the female characters in it are very strong, so that's a huge plus. But the sort of, you know, having that in a series and the threat of it in a series, I never like. So those are the things I didn't like. Back to the things that I liked. So the fifth thing, oops, I did this backwards. Oops, the fifth thing I really liked about Vikings was that it keeps to its own mythology, and I think part of that is the brutality. And it's a gutsy choice, and I don't know if I would choose it, but I didn't make the show, so I don't get you. The fourth thing I love about Vikings is the opening title sequence and the music for it. It is gorgeous. It is gorgeous. I rewound and just would watch it again and again. I have no idea. I should figure it out where to get the music, because holy crap, and who the artists are, because it is fantastic. I look forward to it every single time I watch an episode. Number three thing I like about Vikings, the casting and the characters. This show has an amazing cast, and I just, in particular, Travis Fimmel, who plays Ragnar, unbelievable. Like, I'm like, where has this guy been? Like, according to IMDb, he's Australian, so, you know, I'm sure he's been in Australian productions, but it's just like, he's amazing, and he has a fabulous energy where he feels so direct, and you feel like you can see right through him, yet you have no idea what he's going to do. It's like having a transparent shield. It's like, you feel like you know, but you don't know. Very unpredictable, very calm, amazing energy, great actor. I also love Catherine Winnick, who plays Lagnatha. I don't know how to say that right, Lagnatha. She's great, and it's really great to have a strong female character on the show, and she kicks butt, which totally, really happy that we have her on the show. And Clive Stanton, who plays Rollo, fabulous. Certainly don't necessarily like his character, but wow, great actor. And actually that character journey is actually one of the most interesting ones in the show, along with George Blagden, who plays Alther's son. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Amazing. Like, to have this sort of displaced religious person in this setting is very, very unusual, and has been a real fascinating way to see the culture. There's a bird. Sorry. And I also love Siggy and Floki, both really great characters as well. Floki actually was one of the characters that really got me into, like, I felt like I understood the universe when they had Floki. I'm like, okay, I get it. So there's that. Okay, number two thing, the artistic vision of the series. Oh my goodness gracious. Everything from the hair to the makeup to the costumes to the visuals, everything. I think in every single episode there's one thing that I'm like, oh my god, that was beautiful. Like, that's blood on sand, but that was beautiful. That was a beautiful shot. That was a beautiful moment. They hold the moments. It's extraordinary. And I think that's one of the reasons that keeps me coming back to it, even though it's very violent. You know, it's like just these one beautiful moment per episode that just gets me. It just gets me. And that artistic vision I love. And speaking of things I love, my number one thing I love about the show, I have no idea where it's going. Not a clue. No idea. As I mentioned earlier, they do have a fair amount of time between episodes, so where it goes, nobody knows, you know, which is odd considering it's historical. Maybe I just don't know because I don't know the history. But there will be more. It is coming back in 2014, so we will get a season 2. I think for 10 episodes, upping from 9, which is exciting. I was really impressed by it. I'd actually buy it because it's so beautiful, and I would like to see it again and again. And I'm really happy that History, I watched on history.ca, that they streamed it, because this is one of the shows that started when I had cable, but kept going for when I didn't have cable. So it was really nice to be able to watch it on their website legitimately, you know, and get to enjoy it. So those are my thoughts on Vikings. Let me know, did you watch the series? Did you not watch the series? What was your favorite thing about it? And yeah, and if you want to hear more about TV, because I said I would do that, so we'll see if that keeps happening. Alright, Vikings, thanks so much for watching.